All right, so boom, Saturday we're back in Australia for Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Very, very interesting fight. Very, very interesting rematch. And a lot of people are going into this fight as if we've seen this fight before. I am probably your biggest Volkanovski, not your biggest, I'll get that to Lucas, but I'm a huge Volkanovski fan, but I'm also a big Diego Lopes fan. Contrary to belief, even though I was rooting against Diego in his last two fights, I am a big Diego Lopes fan dating back 2 years ago. I always felt like Diego was going to be a champion. These two have the type of style to where the fight could be so different, even though Diego isn't as evolved as somebody like a Max, where Max and Volk's rematches can be very, very much similar, just they can still play out differently. Obviously, they didn't, but it's similar. Where you have Diego Lopes and Alexander Volkanovski, where their styles are so different. There's so many different ways of outcomes at different moments in the fight. Kind of like Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. We'll get back to that. It's all about how Diego comes out here and fights, and I just don't know that. I wish I knew Diego Lopes' game plan, because Diego Lopes is a guy with the power and the toughness that he has. You kind of want to go out there and just see him be a marauder, get in his opponent's face and throw the big power. But when he's against these high-level strikers like Gene Silva and Alexander Volkanovski, I urge you to go watch that second round where, yeah, Diego did knock out Gene. That entire second round, he was getting dominated, and it wasn't close on the feet. He was getting outclassed on the feet. No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. So the thing about it is, Diego Lopes against Volkanovski as well, he's going out there and he's trying to pace himself, and he's trying to pick his shots, and he's trying to go tit for tat with these guys while mixing in a power here and there, and that's just not what it is, because he's not that guy. He's not that guy. That's not what got him here. What got him here is getting in the pocket, biting down on the mouthpiece, and throwing that big fucking power, right? But the thing about it is, in the first Volkanovski fight, you saw him get taken down. You saw him get ground and pounded. It was bad ground and pound, dominant ground and pound. And you could kind of see Diego Lopes' confidence kind of get chipped. Even though he's never going to quit on himself. And you saw it in his fight. In that fight, he got more frustrated, and his confidence just got chipped away. I didn't see that in the Gene Silva fight. Gene Silva was hitting him with way cleaner shots, much more power on the shots. And yeah, he was smiling, kind of laugh it off, but he knew, I could take it. Volkanovski isn't going to hand you a knockout on a silver platter like Gene Silva did. It's just not going to happen. Volkanovski's not going to get over aggressive. He's not going to hand you a knockout. You're going to have to go get it. The thing about it is, Volkanovski's chin has always been suspect in his entire career before the Islam Makhachev knockout, before the Ilia Topuria knockout. So this is a fight where Diego Lopes can go get it. And like I said, I wish I knew his game plan, because a part of me says, yeah, man, Diego Lopes is going to be stuck outside. Diego Lopes does have fast hands, so does Volk. He does have a lot of power in his hands. Volk doesn't necessarily have that. But the great equalizer is the fact that Diego Lopes is going to be able to out-grapple Volkanovski, and Volkanovski has much better footwork. Diego Lopes' footwork is very, very bad. It's very, very bad. He's plotting around in there. He's not cutting the cage off. He circles. He follows his opponent instead of cutting the cage off. And we know how good Volkanovski is on the back foot, dancing around. But a part of me feels like Diego Lopes comes out like Alex Pereira did against Magomed Ankalaev in the second fight. Come out fast. Don't let Volkanovski warm up. Don't let Volkanovski get comfortable. Don't let Volkanovski get momentum, and build on that, because Volkanovski builds. It's the layers. He builds in these fights where Diego Lopes could say, fuck all that. We're going to cause some chaos, and I know he can't hurt me, and fuck. Even though he did hurt him. He did hurt him in that first fight. I know I can take it. I know he can't. You know, Volkanovski cannot afford this to be in a chaotic slugfest. And that's what Diego Lopes has to make it to win this fight. And a part of me feels like that's what Diego Lopes is going to do. I think Diego Lopes is going to come out immediately, get in Volk's face, and throw the power and see where the chips fall. I mean, that's how you have to fight these guys. That's how you have to fight a Volkanovski if you want to win. I mean, if you're Diego Lopes, I mean. Because we saw Ilia Topuria, yeah, he has big power, but he's way more technical, Diego Lopes. Much better footwork, and he worked the calf kick, cut the cage off, not just following him around, cut the cage off, really getting Volkanovski in the corner, and then letting the combinations fly. Diego Lopes, although he could and would get Volkanovski pressed up against the fence, he wouldn't cut it off, so Volkanovski would easily circle out. I think Diego Lopes is going to come out immediately forward, take the center, throw big power, and just let the chips fall where they may. And if that's the way he fights, I can't help but feel like Diego Lopes finds the finish against my glorious king, Alexander Volkanovski. I am a Volk fan, right? I'm rooting for Volk. If I see this fight get to the third round, I'm feeling good. I mean, barring 10-8, right? But if there's a 10-8, Volkanovski probably gets finished. If this fight makes it to the third round, I'm feeling good if I'm a Volk fan. I am. I'm feeling good if I'm a Volk fan, because Diego Lopes does slow down in these fights. He can carry some power late. He showed that against Brian Ortega, but that was third round. Right, we're talking third, fourth, fifth. That's where, when it comes to closing the show and finishing fight strong, Volkanovski is the king of that. And he'll run away from you as the fight goes on long. Does Volkanovski come out here and try to grapple more? That's what I want to see. Does he come out there and try to grapple more? Because Volkanovski has a type of wrestling and the type of top pressure that negates the jiu-jitsu from the bottom. It just does. It does. Especially jiu-jitsu like Diego Lopez's, where he's comfortable being on his back because he feels like he's so dangerous, which he is dangerous off of his back. But Volkanovski's wrestling will completely nullify that. So I'm rooting for Volkard, but I think this is a completely different fight. And the only thing that takes me back on it is I feel like, part of me feels like Diego Lopez, although he learned that, yeah, I shouldn't go tit for tat with these high-level guys, and maybe I should try to impose my will a little bit more, that's not the smart thing to do against Gene Silva either, because Gene Silva wants you to do that. Gene Silva wants the counter. He wants to slip. And Gene Silva has big power to make you pay. So maybe he did learn that from the Volkanovski fight, but he's like, I can't implement it in this one because Gene Silva can go toe for toe for me like he did. So what did he learn? Because the Volkanovski fight should have taught him that, and the Gene Silva should have taught him that. Like, man, I'm just not quite there. I have the power. I have the toughness. I have the durability. I got hit with Gene Silva's best shots. I hit Gene Silva with my best shot. Gene Silva went down. You understand what I'm saying? I took all of Volkanovski's best shots. I hit Volkanovski with an okay shot, a good shot. Volkanovski went down. So he just didn't close the show. I think he got his second opportunity much faster than he necessarily thought, no matter what he said. Much faster than he necessarily thought he would get it. And I don't think he's going to let him pass it by. I'm going to pick Diego Lopez by second round KO. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to somebody I know that enjoys like you did. You ain't got to go home, but you have to get up out of here, man. Yeet.